Okay, now for today, we are going to focus a bit more on editing. Editing is actually a component in your paper 2, section B, right? There will be 10 questions for editing, and then most of them will be like spelling errors or grammatical errors. I think as of now, there will no longer be any that are punctuation errors. Okay, so it's not about the punctuation anymore. It's either a spelling error or a grammatical error which you have to correct, right, for editing. Then after that, we are also going to go through some questions which has been assigned to you on your student account. We're going to go through grammar as well as vocabulary cloze. Okay, grammar cloze is also in your section B. Okay, we are now looking, we're actually talking about the full PSLE paper, yeah? Grammar cloze is a 10-mark question in your section B as well. But that comes with helping words, okay? Now, for your vocabulary cloze, it falls under section A. It's a 5-mark question, section A, and then you're supposed to choose the options like MCQ that best fits the context of the story or the text itself. Okay, so we'll come to that later, and then maybe after your vocabulary cloze, I'll give you maybe a short break before we have our activity. I think today we should have time for activity because the components are quite short. Okay? Right. Okay, let's take a look at this. Can we get someone to read? Let's start with Tanisha.
During the holidays, I went to the library with my sister. We went there by ourselves as our mother was at work.
Very good. Thank you so much, Felicia. Okay. So and always do remember for grammar cloze, you do need to write the letters representing the word. Okay. So you will be given marks only if you write the letters. Yeah. So just bear in mind this one. Because if you don't write letters, you spell out the word, you'll be marked off because the instruction asks you to write the letters. Okay. So that one you have to be aware. All right. Okay. Next person, maybe we'll move on to Grace. Okay, we go by alphabetical order, okay?
There, I picked a book of my favorite animal, leatherback turtles. My sister prefers fairy tales, so she went to look for books that interest her.
Very good. I picked a book on, right? On my favorite. The book is, what is it about, right? It's actually talking about your favorite animal, or it's going to cover on your favorite animal, which is the leatherback turtles. Okay. F G H I J. So Ivan. Ivan next. Ivan?
While reading, I learned that leopard black turtles are the largest of all living turtles. Unfortunately, these majesty creatures are in endanger. One of the main causes are pollution.
Okay, one of the main. So it's one of. I know there's causes, but the subject is actually one of. This entire thing is a noun phrase. So one of the main causes
Is.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so it should be singular in a sense, right? Because it's one of it is one of it. Yeah, this is a very close one. Okay. So yeah, so basically that's that. Okay, because it's an entire noun phrase, one of the main causes. So one of is. Okay, next one is Jera. Many leatherback turtles.
Many leatherback turtles die after eating plastic bags that float in the sea.
Very good. Thank you. Right. So they died after. So it's more of like a determinant of time. It tells you time, right? So they die after eating plastic bags that float in the sea, right? So this is it, yeah? Okay, good. So this is basically have a sense of how grammar close is, but let me just highlight that for PSLE, your grammar close is actually a 10 marks component. Okay, so it's not so short actually. But this one is just for practice. Okay, so ultimately we are still preparing you for your PSLE. So you do need to know how the exam format is like. Yeah. Oh, there's some more. Okay, before I could read, let's go back to Phoenicia.
Before I could read more about how to say these animals, it was time to go. My sister showed me the book she wanted to borrow, and I happily showed her mine. I was glad that I had learned more about my favorite animal.
Okay. Oh no, wait, there's no but, is it on? Okay. Yeah, to borrow, and I showed her mine. So this is a conjunction. Okay, and I showed her mine. Good. All right. So these are the answers, right? As, on, is, after, and. Okay, that's that. Next one is vocabulary close. Okay, maybe we'll just write down the meanings of the word first. Does any of you know the meaning of the word stingy? Anyone would like to try? Yes, Ivan.
So I read from book. So stingy, I think is like if like just like wanted to save a lot of stuff and don't want to like reuse them and yeah, like saving stuff and yeah, use the most easiest way instead of using money to do things.
Okay, so it's basically, yeah, you're not willing to spend money, which actually means that you're a little bit mean and ungenerous. You're not generous. Stingy. Okay, a bit of a miser. Miser means that you're not willing to fork out money. And usually they always refer that to your bosses, right? Your boss is a very stingy person. Okay. So to roam is actually a verb that describes movement, but usually it means that you are going to go place to place. That means you're just moving around, okay, without a purpose. So you are just roaming around, you have no purpose, you're just wandering and aimlessly. Okay, wandering aimlessly, yeah? Okay, lethargic. Anybody knows the meaning of the word lethargic? No, let me give you an example. I feel so lethargic after having slept for 2 hours last night. So what do you think lethargic means? Yes, Ivan.
Is it like you are like very not awake,
Not awake means I'm very
tired?
tired. Yes, okay. So basically you're feeling very tired, very sluggish. Okay, so tired, sluggish. Okay, that's lethargic, yeah? All right. So feeling a bit inactive as well. Okay, next one, passionate. Passionate. If someone is really passionate about something. Yes, Jara.
Showing caused by strong feelings or beliefs.
Very good. Okay, so in this case, passionate means, showing are caused by strong feelings or beliefs. You're a passionate person, right? You are passionate about your dreams, your goals, and sometimes passionate can also mean between people, like the relationship you have. It's really passionate, okay? All right, so trek is another word that describes movement similar to roam. It's just that the manner of movement is quite different when you're trekking versus when you're roaming. So when you're trekking, it's basically you go on a very long journey, especially one made on foot, okay? So it's a long, okay? It's a long journey, especially one that is made on foot. So you're trekking, right? So of course, generous is the opposite of stingy. Okay, if you really want to know what the meaning of generous mean, it means that you are very ready to give more of something. Okay, you're very ready to give more of something. So you're very generous, yeah? What about dedicated? Anybody knows what the word dedicated means? Is it somewhat similar to passionate? Is it the same meaning? Dedicated. So what do we mean by dedicated? Okay, I see someone typing in the chat. Who is that? Meant to. Yeah, dedicated. You are meant to do something. Basically, it means that you're very devoted. Okay, to a task or purpose. Right? You are very devoted to a task or a purpose means that you're very dedicated to something. You're very committed. Okay, so another word for it would be committed. Okay? All right. And the last one, pleasantly, anything that has ly is actually an adverb. Okay? Maybe I'm gonna use another color. So actually for vocabulary close, it's actually good for you to write down what word form is this. Oh, green is too light. Maybe I use blue. Okay, pleasantly is actually an adverb. Passionate is actually an adjective as a descriptive word. Okay, lethargic, all these are actually adjectives. Okay, dedicated is also an adjective. Okay, generous is also an adjective. Stingy is also an adjective. Okay, roam and trek, they are both verbs. Okay, pleasantly, I think you know the meaning, right? So I don't have to write it down. So why is it important to identify the word form? The word form means either is it a noun or a verb or a pronoun or an adverb. The reason is because when you're doing vocabulary close, you realize that there are certain words that can only, let's say if you look at the structure of a sentence, so there are only certain words that can fit into the structure of the sentence. Then after that, you will be able to cancel off some words, okay? Certain words, then you can be able to derive at the answer. So who was the last person who read just now? I think was it Phanisha? Right? So we'll go to Grace now. Grace, can you please read this part here? The dog.
The dog shelter down the road has been there for many years. It is run by a non-profit organization that is dedicated to helping stray dogs find homes.
Very good. Thank you so much, Grace. Okay, so same thing, make sure you write the letter, not just spell the words. If the instruction says most of the time,